Well, hello. It is Monday again, y'all. Can y'all believe Can't believe it's already Monday again, but it's all good because Mondays means that I get to spend time with you right here in the meditation room. So welcome to Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings. How was your day? I hope it was a good day. We're here on the East Coast. I love the East Coast because we get to experience all four seasons, and we are in a beautiful fall season. The weather has been wonderful, the sun has been shining, and plus, this is my favorite time of the year. Love the cool, crisp weather. Y'all hear me say it all the time. I love seeing God's handiwork on the leaves, the different colors is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. So, welcome. If you did not know, this is the place for all things empowerment and enlightenment for women in midlife, where we are redefining midlife. It is not chaos, it's not a crisis, but we are redefining it as an awakening and a rebirth, and us walking into the fullness of who we are, embracing it and walking unapologetically. So, welcome to the Enlightened Woman tribe here on Mondays in the meditation room. I'm so excited. This month has been amazing. The guests that have been here have been amazing. So whether you're going to sign on later and watch, or whether you're watching the replay, I'm inviting you to go back to the beginning of the month. The first month, we had the one and only Dr. Sharon Allison Adi talking about embracing transformation in midlife. Then the next Monday, we had Takesha Harris and Tamika McFadden. They're on the other end of the spectrum of the midlife. They're on that early part in their 40s. And they talked about what it was like to be officially diagnosed that they're in perimenopause, still wanting to have children, and talking about what that was like and what that meant for their life and for their future. And the good news was starting perimenopause in midlife is not a death sentence. If you have a good doctor and you still desire to have children, all of that, that it is still absolutely possible. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise, and go ahead and live your life, but take care of yourself. And so here we are tonight. I'm so excited. I have my good girlfriend, the Reverend Melodie Rose Powell Boone. I love to say her entire name, right? And she is one of those multi hyphenates. She is multi gifted. And one of the things I've been doing since I started this go round is to allow them to introduce themselves. I love to read bios and everything, but while we're in this season, declaring who we are in this season, I've asked our guests to introduce themselves. So, first, let me thank God for our theme song for Mondays in the Meditation Room that you heard as we were coming on. So grateful to Brother Mike Butler, our producer and a creator. It's such a cool vibe. I absolutely love it. So here we are, and I don't want to waste another moment because our theme for today is reclaiming your confidence in midlife. Oh, I can't wait to talk about it. So help me welcome our guest for this third Monday of Mondays in the Meditation Room, as we acknowledge and think about and celebrate World Menopause Awareness Month, the Reverend Melodie Boone. Hey, Carolyn. Welcome. Let me pull her
Hello,
on.
hello, Cal. I am so excited to be in the meditation room with Dr. K. I'm just so
Yay.
excited. Thank you so much for this awesome opportunity.
Yeah, what we are talking about midlife. When we say the meditation room, literally, this is my meditation room, right? And for midlife musings, we want to talk about the fact that Many of us entered into this season without any foreknowledge, without any warning, without
Mm.
any notice of. I mean, of course, you hear from time to time, you see on movies and commercials and all of that about hot flashes and the change, but that's the extent of it. And I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity for us to really have conversations about it, to be encouraged, to be empowered, to learn, and to help navigate this season and everything that comes with it. And we like doing it from a holistic point of view and telling women this is really a season where you get to walk into your powers, you get to know yourself. And I'm just so excited. And Mel, can I tell you, I'm so excited about the other women that I have discovered that are doing the same thing, the same kind of work, and it's exciting.
Mm.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find. I'm gonna grab you to have you go with me next year. How about I found out there's a whole conference
Wow.
founded and started by a Black woman, and it's in LA. I mean, who needs excuse to go to LA? But that's a great
Sign
reason
me up, sis. Sign
to
me
go
up.
to LA. And so I'm going to be looking more into that and sharing as much information as I can with the Enlightened Woman Tribe. So we're welcoming Melodie Boone, the CEO of Liberty Coaching and Consulting. That's as far as I'm going to go because I'm going to turn it over to her and I'm going to say, Mel, tell me about yourself. I'm asking you to introduce yourself to the meditation room, whether people are watching, sisters are watching it now or later. How would you introduce yourself?
I would say, hello, everyone. My name is Melody, as Kelly says, Melody Rose Powell Boone. Um, the wife of Pastor Tony Boone, the mother of two phenomenal young men, Brian and Bryson.
Yeah.
I am a pastor. I am a life coach. I am an author. Um, I am a homebody. I love being home. But I am a more confident woman. And I think that's where I'm going to end it. This new season that I'm in, I'm more confident and I'm walking in my purpose. So that's who I am and looking forward
Woo!
to all that God is doing in my life. So I'm really excited for this new season that God has placed me in.
I loved how you kept saying, I am, I am. That's
I
the
am.
ultimate creative declaration right there in owning who we are. I love it. So, who would you say? I guess you already answered that part because my next question was going to be who would you say Melody is now in midlife? That's a
Well, you know what, Kelly? You and I have had so many conversations over the years about our evolution as
Mhm,
women, as pastors, as wives, as mothers. And, like I said, I feel, in this new season, it's strange because I've evolved.
mhm,
I've evolved and this is the most confident I've ever been in my life.
mhm,
And I'm excited about possibility. I'm excited about my potential. I'm
mhm.
excited about the vision that God has given me. And so that's who I am. And I'm ready to take it head on. And I'm just believing God for so much.
I love it. If y'all see me looking down, that's because I'm writing notes. Because y'all do know that one of the symptoms of a perimenopausal season is brain fog
Mm.
and memory lapses. I keep wanting to say I need to go to the doctor. They need to test me because I need to. Me
Taking detailed notes.
I'm like, what is happening? And realizing that the International Menopause Society that's based in the UK, their theme literally for World Menopause Awareness Month and Day is literally brain fog and memory difficulties. That
Wow.
is their focus this year. And I
Yeah.
was like, yes, because we can start getting afraid, really, because we're like, what can I?
What's going on?
What
You're
is
right.
really going on? Anytime you forgetting what you saying in the middle of your sentence, you walking in rooms going, why am I here? You can't find your phone. You driving, and all of a sudden you like, wait a minute, where am I going? How do I get there? That crazy stuff is
Yeah.
like it is true. So that was you used so many power words that I think really describes this season and
Mm-hmm.
that we need to embrace. You said, the first one was evolution and
Mm-hmm.
how we're evolving. That is so awesome because for most of us, we don't give ourselves permission to change or evolve and be okay with it
And be okay.
because evolution does require the loss of some things, and we're not that comfortable with losing some things. And
But Kelly, we have to get comfortable. If we are going to be all that God created us to be,
Mhm,
we are going to have to allow ourselves to evolve, to change,
mhm,
to look at those mistakes that we've made,
mhm.
to correct, to move forward in faith and do things. And we'll talk a little bit more about it, but doing those things that terrify us because God is, He's molding us and shaping us. And every time we get on the potter's wheel, you got to remember now, every time we go on the potter's wheel, God is smoothing out those rough places.
Mhm.
So he's recreating us.
Yes,
And we are better than we were. But if we don't
yes.
acknowledge the change, if we don't acknowledge the growth, if we don't acknowledge the evolution of ourselves,
Mhm.
then we're going to miss half the things that God has in store for us.
Absolutely. That's what midlife is, a rite of passage. It
Yeah.
is a transition. It is change. It's transformation. It is evolution and being afraid. So of course you took it to a whole nother level because we always saying fear. You just said terrified. Woo! Ah, that took it to a whole nother level because sometimes it is
Yeah.
literally terrifying to
And listen, Kelly, which paralyzes us.
yes.
When
And
we're
then
so
we get
terrified, we can't move forward because oftentimes, like I said, we'll talk about fear in a minute. You are so terrified, you're paralyzed, you can't move forward. And
mhm,
so you're lost. God is pushing. Sometimes we have friends who are shoving us. God is shoving us a little bit into his purpose. And we are just holding on with everything that we've got. We are just terrified. We just will not move forward. And we've got to do, if we're going to evolve, honey, we've got to walk in that freedom and
mhm.
do it and do it.
That is it. And
Yeah.
then you talked about the two other words was, being willing to evolve so you could walk into the possibilities and the potential. Woo!
Yeah.
That is so good because we think the way the world has, first of all, created shame around menopause, women's reproductive health, and all of that
Mm,
is crazy. But the way they are framing it is around just strictly aging. And
mm,
we as a society don't treat aging well. We don't see it as a badge of honor. We just are fearful of aging because we think that's it. Our life is
mhm.
over, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, no, I'm looking for the new examples, like looking at somebody like Viola Davis.
Mm. No, but Kelly, you know
Looking
what?
good.
But you know what, Kelly? Let's look at ourselves.
Yes. Well, I'm saying when what I
Mhm.
appreciate is that wasn't always celebrated.
Yeah, right.
When we look at the grand scheme of women who are out there, in particular
Mhm,
Black women, she is somebody that we can see and say, see, the narrative is changing.
mhm.
And then we look at ourselves, like you said, it is a mindset
Yes.
to think that, okay, what else can I do with my life? So that's when you said potential. I
Mm,
mean, what a power word. Evolution, possibilities, because there is more to us and more to our life than what we've already experienced. This is not the end, and that we still have a great deal of potential. But you're right, it terrifies us because the whole thing of the way I want to step out and do certain things, it requires a new learning curve. I got to learn how to
Mhm.
do some stuff and
Yeah.
just take a chance and doing without it being perfected.
Mm.
So,
But you know what, Kelly? I realized, first of all, in my evolution, in my evolving, I
mhm.
realized I was a lot smarter than I thought I was.
Come on. That is the whole thing of redefining and
Yes.
reimagining our
And
life.
I embrace my intelligence. And so some things still intimidate me, but I know maybe I might just have to watch a YouTube video a couple of times, a couple of times, maybe 3 times. I'll probably get it. Third time is a charm, as they say. But I've taught myself so much, and then I look
Mhm.
back and say, "Golly, Mel, you did this all by yourself.
All by yourself, that you are
You're
capable.
capable of doing it." And I have to pat my own self. And I know, come on, our foundation is the Holy Spirit. We know that it's the Holy Spirit empowering us. But I just thank God that I was embracing my ability to
Mhm,
do, my ability to try.
mhm,
And once I tried, I said, wow, I got it done.
mhm.
Learning how to build, these social media platforms, writing, editing, things that, I would never imagine that I could do just comes natural. And it's because I've allowed myself to learn and not say what I couldn't do. I looked at possibility. I looked at,
Yes, what
yeah,
you can do. So
yeah.
I know we're gonna hear more about that as we move forward in our conversation. Hey, Susan. Susan said, "Hey, y'all." So, hey.
Hey, Susie
So,
Q.
and if you're there, know this is a conversation. If you have a question, you have some insight or some information, please share it because this is a community. And especially as we talk about this, reclaiming your confidence in midlife. Talk to us and share with us about where you are in your confidence in midlife. Has it been diminished? Is it a struggle? Because for me, that's part of my story, realizing that I was so busy shrinking or hiding or diminishing, that I had to come out and embrace myself again and my abilities, for a plethora of reasons, that we end up doing that shrinking. And so I was so excited when you did your program on confidence. Tell us about that and what it was like and why you did it.
Oh, well, first of all, I did a 15-day challenge called the Confidence Challenge, and I had 28 phenomenal women to join me for 15 days.
Mhm.
I wrote a blog post every day, and then I did a live teaching every day for 15 days. I just patted myself on the back. I said, "Girl, if you can do 15 days straight, you're pretty good."
Yep.
But it was wonderful. We had, questions, and, I gave them homework every day. And as I was teaching, I was also learning.
Mhm.
And it was wonderful. And then, of course, at the end, I gave them opportunity to work with me, and I had a few women to come and join me as clients.
Good.
But it was a wonderful experience, and it was just something that the Lord had laid on my heart to do, because as this evolution of Melodie,
Mhm.
I knew that I was increasing in confidence, and I wanted to explore it more, and then I wanted to share it. So that's the reason why I did the 15-day challenge. And I'm going to have it again this December.
Yay. Did y'all hear that? She's gonna do it again. Go ahead and put it in the chat if you dare. Does anybody else here have or find that you at some point in your life, and especially during this midlife? So midlife is approximately 35 to 65, give or take a few. I understand that some women even begin to feel it prior to that, but textbook quote unquote is 35 to 65. At some point, when you began to transition or feel like your life was beginning to change and transition, did you find yourself struggling with your confidence? your self confidence, your confidence, your self worth. Were you questioning uh,
Mhm.
your ability to manage your life beyond what you're used to it being? Because a lot comes along with it. The body changes. Of course, we could talk about the perimenopause or the menopausal symptoms, but also the changes that's happening around you. Sometimes your marriage may start struggling. If you are in a long-term relationship, sometimes it's your children are grown and gone,
Mhm.
or they if they still at home, you like you need to get out. You might be helping with your grandchildren or godchildren. You might be caring for parents. It's all of those things that start happening on your job. You start looking towards retirement, or what am I going to do when I retire? What am I going to do in the second half of my life? And has your confidence um, taken a hit as
Mhm.
we get to this place?
Mhm.
So go ahead and share in the chat if you will. So, Mel, what did you talk about? What were some of the things you talked about in the challenge? You don't have to give it all away, especially since you're getting ready to do it again. Um, like, what
Well,
were some
let
things?
me share three points that I really stressed. And the first one was pick something that you're afraid of and do
Mhm.
it anyway.
Wow.
And what I wanted to really stress is there is a connection between courage
Mm,
and confidence.
mm.
Oftentimes, we talked just a few minutes ago, we talked about fear. Lots of times we won't take risk. Lots
Oh,
of times we are so
wow.
down in fear that we know that we should do it. We know God has told us to do it, but we will not get out of the proverbial boat and walk on
Mm,
water because we are terrified. And so, what we need to do is pick something that you're scared of and do it anyway. And that takes courage. And so make a list. This is
wow.
one of the homework assignments. Make a list of 5 to 10 things that you know you need to do, but you're terrified to do, and
Woo!
start checking them off. And every day, do that one scary thing, right? And so that was the assignment. Pick
Mhm,
one scary thing and do it. And now, number two is let me see. No, to piggyback on that, then I want us to look at what I call the cycle of doing the courageous thing. And what this is when we look at Luke 6:38, we all know about the law of reciprocity, right?
mhm,
Give and it should be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. And oftentimes as pastors, whether we're doing the offering or we're trying to encourage the congregants to sow seed,
mhm,
we talk about the law of reciprocity. It's the same thing with courage
mm,
when we're confronting fear. If we take the risk and
mm,
do something scary and do it again and do it again and
mhm,
do it again, what happens is that cycle of doing something courageous is activated. And the
mm,
more the more things that we do that takes courage, the
mhm,
more our confidence builds. The more we do it, the more confident we feel, and we won't be as fearful
mhm.
like we were before. Now,
Yeah, look, I'm teasing
go ahead.
Crystal. I'm like, Crystal, did you go through Reverend Boone's course? Because she just made a statement. Think if you can see it, confidence comes when we do courageous things.
Wow, wow, yeah. I mean, it really just doing that one scary thing,
Hmm.
just try one thing, because sometimes it intimidates us.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want to get out of the boat. Sometimes like Peter, we're saying, Jesus, where are you? So we won't even budge, right? But if
Hmm.
we just find a little bit of courage to try it,
Hmm.
it activates that cycle. And every time we take a step, the
Hmm.
more our confidence builds. And we know that once we do it, we can do it again.
We can do it again.
We can
And
do it
the
again.
more you do it. We can do it again. I like I'm trying to think who was, if it's Glennon Doyle, who was it? But anyway, she's always saying we can do hard things.
We can do hard things.
Hmm.
And one of my online coaches, that is one of her signature things,
Hmm.
Amy Porterfield. You can do hard things. And oftentimes I hear Amy's voice in my ear when I'm confronting something scary, and I can hear her say, you can do hard things. You
Hmm.
can do hard things. And I begin to speak it to myself. You can do hard things. All you have to do is try. And if you fail, it's okay. Try
It's
again.
okay. That,
Try.
and we've started saying that failure is learning, not.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what before we move to the other two, what would be your working definition of confidence?
Mm. Confidence is an inner knowing of the possibility within. That's it. It's the possibility within. That's what confidence, knowing that all you have to do is believe in
I'm
yourself.
writing
And
it
so but it's a struggle. Oftentimes we don't believe, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in our gifting. We don't believe in what comes natural to us. We kind of throw those things where our gifting is. We place no value on it.
I
And
love that. That is not what you said, but so you got to tell me. I got confidence, the inner knowing of what we are capable of. That
a
wasn't exactly what
possibility,
you said.
a possibility, a possibility. Yeah. Within, possibility within.
Mhm. Inner knowing of possibility within, like having confidence in your spelling when you type stuff for other people to see. I'm like, what is it? Thank God for them little red underlinings that let you know you spelling that wrong.
And it's okay.
Yep, possibility.
Yeah, possibility within.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All
Mm.
right. So what I know we kind of interrupted you.
Oh, well, that's fine. That's
All
fine.
right.
Number
So
two, you
number
ready for number
ready for
two?
number two? Yeah.
Number two, take the time to
Hmm.
confront negative thinking and negative self-talk.
Woo!
Kelly, let me tell you, this was my worst thing about myself, how I spoke to myself. You know how we often, teach, and I've preached it, I've taught it, to speak life, speak life, speak life. But because I had confidence issues and I made a mistake, or I did something and it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to turn out,
Mm-hmm.
I would attack myself verbally.
Mm-hmm.
I would call myself names. I would call myself stupid. Oh, you're so stupid. How could you have done something so dumb?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to be aware of how I was speaking to myself. And,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, I had to take a major effort
Mm-hmm.
to speak life to myself. And I know better. I've been preaching and teaching for years. And I
Mm-hmm.
know how powerful words are. But because there was a lack of confidence, where I would get to the place where I hated myself because I did foolish things, or I made mistakes, or I didn't follow through, or I didn't bring everything that I was supposed to bring. And I would, then get home and I would just attack myself. I would look at myself in the mirror and I would just say such ugly things to myself. But if you're going to build confidence, you've got to arrest those thoughts. You've got to arrest those things, those negative things that you say. And
Mm-hmm.
even as you say them, catch yourself,
Mm-hmm.
correct yourself, go to the mirror and
Mm-hmm.
apologize to
Woo!
yourself.
Girl, say that again.
Go
Catch
to the mirror
yourself. Wait,
and
ma'am,
apologize.
ma'am, ma'am. Catch yourself. Correct yourself, and
Yeah,
then apologize to yourself.
yeah,
Girl, that's a book all by itself, dealing with thoughts. Come
yeah.
on.
Go to the mirror and apologize to you. Speak to yourself. Sometimes, Kelly, we don't have the support that we need.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when we are building, when we are trying new ideas, and it's just you in your office,
Mm-hmm.
when you're trying to birth something, design something, you
Mm-hmm.
know, then you go and it doesn't work out, and you sit there and then you call yourself all these terrible names. You need to go to the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. And
Girl.
guess what? Sometimes we want to throw all this stuff on God.
Mm-hmm.
What God didn't do and what God didn't give me. God has given us everything that we
Everything.
need. Everything that we need is on the inside of us. But oftentimes we don't do the work to build what God has placed in us. And
Mm-hmm.
so go to the mirror and have a conversation with yourself and say, Melodie, come on now. You know you can do this. Now, yeah, you made a mistake. Now, next time, make yourself a note, make yourself a to-do list, but don't do that anymore. You have to watch how you speak to yourself and confront those negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
um you know what's the scripture? We are supposed to, those negative things that come, we are supposed to cast down every imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And those imaginations, those negative thoughts that come in our mind that tell
Mm-hmm.
us that we can't do it, why even try? Girl,
Yep.
nobody's going to come to your meeting. What are you going to have a meeting for? Why do you want to write the book? Do you really think somebody's going to buy your designs after you have drawn them out and had them produced? Nobody's going to buy your stuff. Girl, you need to lock that stuff, put that stuff on lockdown.
Yep.
That
That
stuff
is
on
so good.
lockdown. Yeah.
That
We
is so good.
we have to, because number one, that's the number one way the enemy attacks us
Yep.
is in our mind, in our soul realm. And if we don't learn how to address our negative thinking,
Mm-hmm.
address our negative self-talk,
Mm-hmm.
we've already failed because we failed within.
Yep.
And
Look.
everybody, and Kelly, look, here's a funny thing. And I was thinking about this today and getting ready. And I don't even know if you remember. Now, most people know, particularly when we're at a church conference, they know you and I are normally together.
Mm-hmm.
We normally, we're doing certain breaks and lunchtime. We're out shopping, right? And I'll never forget. This was a breakthrough for me.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were out shopping one day, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, everyone knows that Dr. K is a shoe diva, right?
Ah, ah, ah.
Everyone should know that, right? And Kelly and I were at a mall. I don't know which store. We were at a nice store. We were looking at shoes, and you were trying on shoes, and I was looking at shoes. And I picked up a pair of beautiful open toe sandals. I don't know if you remember this. And you said, Mel, girl, those are some bad shoes. Girl, go ahead and get them. And I looked at you and I say, oh, yeah, they're pretty. But I don't buy open toe shoes because I think my feet are ugly. And you said to me, Mel, your feet aren't ugly. And I put that thought away. But what you don't know is I thought about what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I did it when I was in the hotel room or I did it when I got home. But I
Mm-hmm.
looked at my feet and I said to myself, Melodie, your feet aren't ugly.
Girl. I ain't
Girl,
got no tissue. Don't be trying me. Don't be trying me. I ain't got no tissue around here.
okay. And I said, Melodie, your feet aren't ugly. You can wear open toe shoes. And from that point on, Kelly, I wear open toe shoes. Now, of course, that's just an example, but that's the negative perception I had of myself. And oftentimes, even as we build these platforms, there's 1,000 excuses why
Mm-hmm.
women and men, but we're going to talk about women in the meditation room. We don't try. We don't want to get on camera. We consider ourselves too fat, too thin, too
Girl.
dark, too light. Our hair's not long enough. Our hair's too nappy. We got buck teeth or, something. Our breasts are too big. When really, nobody sees that but us because we have this
Right.
negative perception of ourselves. But when you learn how to confront those negative thoughts, when you learn how to confront the negative things that you say about yourself,
Mm,
you've
mm.
already won the battle, Kelly.
Girl, that is so good because it's on a loop. Harold did a teaching and
Yep.
preaching one time, and he did this series from several months ago from a psychological perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was so powerful, but he started out with the statistics about how many thoughts we have per day, like 60,000 thoughts we have a day,
Mm-hmm.
and that 95% of those thoughts are negative in nature,
Mm-hmm.
and that most of those thoughts are repeat thoughts that
Mm-hmm.
we have over and over again. So this is so catch yourself, correct yourself, and then apologize to yourself, because that's the whole thing about, see, out in the wellness, the mental health and the wellness, they'll say this is cognitive behavior therapy,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that you are changing the behavior that you have based on your thoughts. You're changing your thoughts, and one of the things you do is, when you realize you are not your thoughts and you stay on
Mm-hmm.
the outside, you listen to those thoughts and then you replace them with a more positive thought. But
Mm-hmm.
that's Bible. That is the renewing of your
The mind. Yes, ma'am.
catch
Yes,
them,
ma'am.
you correct them, then you apologize. Because we're quick to apologize, especially as women. We're quick to apologize to people, almost apologizing for our existence. But how often do we
We,
change that negative self-talk and even apologize to ourselves? That
yes,
is so
ma'am.
good. I
But
love
Kelly, but it
that.
also runs havoc on our confidence.
Yes.
It,
Oh my God, it tears it
it
down.
eats it away. And sometimes we are our own worst enemy. It's not that the world sees us negatively. It's not the other people don't see us capable, doesn't they don't see the potential, because they do. We're the only ones that don't see it in ourselves. And we have this gifting. God gives us all gifts, right? God gives us all talents, but we don't place any value on what we can do innately. I mean, it's already inside of us, and we just throw it away. We just place no value on it when God has given us those gifts, those talents to
Mhm.
take us to new levels, to open up new doors, to give us potential to do incredible things. I think, there's a scripture where, God gives us witty inventions.
Yes, I love that. I pray that all the time, girl.
Yes,
Yes.
those witty inventions that God
Yes.
gives us, they're already on the inside of us. We just got to allow ourselves to connect with God and birth those things that He's already placed inside of us. But because those inventions that He gives us, and sometimes the inventions that He gives us are attached to the natural gifting and the natural talent that we already have, but we won't acknowledge them because we place no value on them.
Oh my God, that is so good. I'm looking at Deanna saying, my daughter and I both agreed today that we would stop making excuses and or talking ourselves out of doing things that we would like to do. Come on, enlightened women. You can't do it, but I'm giving you a high five. We hugging each other
It's
and
a
we are
high five.
encouraging other. We're saying that that is so true, and you have to do that very thing that Deanna and her daughter did to say we're no longer going to do that. I love Tony Jones. She's an affirmation artist. And one of my favorite songs that I have on repeat is called Talk to Me Nicely.
Good, 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 good,
And
good.
talking about herself.
Yeah.
Talk to me nicely. Talk to me nicely. I love it. That it is so powerful. Okay, it's about okay. We got to get to three.
Number
I'm
three.
telling y'all, yeah, this is gonna be good. You have to make. We're gonna give you Coach Mel's information at the end, so you'll be connected to her when she gets ready to do her next confidence program.
Challenge.
Okay,
You
confidence.
know,
All right, number three.
number three, and I have a lot more, but I want to end with this one, and that is bad days and setbacks are a part of life.
Woo, girl. Yes.
And see, here's the thing, Kelly. When we fail,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a death sentence to many of us.
Mm, mm, mm,
It cripples us, it paralyzes us, And then we see ourselves because we've failed, we've made a mistake. We
Mhm.
don't want to try again. And
Mhm.
it erodes our confidence because the lighting's wrong, or the link is wrong, and then we feel
Mhm.
humiliated, we feel embarrassed, and
Mhm.
then we don't want to put ourselves out there anymore. But what we have to learn is that bad days and
Mhm.
setbacks are part of your learning process.
I
You
just let a
learn
quote
from
that
those
sort
things.
of get in my spirit. Bad days
And
and
setbacks
setbacks.
are a part of life. And they
Oh.
are a learning tool. And so when we look at the mistakes that we made,
Mhm.
don't just going back to, just don't call yourself stupid and dumb. How stupid could
Mhm.
you have been to do such a thing?
Mhm.
Look at it as a learning opportunity. And sometimes when we have bad days, some days when we have setbacks and we make mistakes,
Mhm.
we have to learn that we can what? Activate that cycle of doing the courageous thing,
Mhm.
starting again,
Yes.
trying again, doing it, tweaking it here, tweaking it there, putting yourself out there again.
Mhm.
So many of us, like I said, won't even try to build a platform. They know the Lord has told them to do a YouTube channel or do something on Facebook daily or do something on IG,
Mhm.
but they will not do it because they don't see themselves not only as capable, but they're afraid of making mistakes. Well,
Mm.
and the big question is, what will people say?
Mhm.
What will people
Mhm.
think of me?
Mhm.
And then there you go again. You won't even move forward
Mhm.
because you are afraid of people's reaction. Because what if you make a mistake? How
Mhm.
foolish will I look? But here's the thing: when you put yourself out there, you may not even be building a social media platform. You may be wanting to attempt to go back to school or to write a
Mhm.
book or to
Mhm.
start a business. But if you make a mistake, learn from it, make it a part of the process, and
Mhm.
start all over again. Give yourself permission to try again. Give
Yes.
yourself permission. And as you do it, you activate that cycle of doing courageous things. And here you go. You made a mistake last time, but you're not going to make the same mistake, the next time. And the next time you get more and more courageous, which what? Builds your confidence. Your confidence is going, boom,
Ooh,
boom,
it's just growing
boom.
and getting bigger. I love it. That's why this is so important in midlife, especially in midlife. Because you talked about this was the perfect, because that was the question. You already answered it before I can even ask the question, because that was it. What do we have challenges with in our confidence, especially in midlife? And that
Mhm.
whole piece about starting over
Starting
again
over.
in midlife, we're almost starting out when we stop wanting to take care of everybody else, when we stop
Oh,
prioritizing everybody else, it feels like we're starting over.
yeah.
That's why this theme that we've been under for the past month or so, almost 2 months, 2 month and a half, rather, is the rebirth of youth. That is the theme. And that's really what midlife is like. It is a
Mhm.
rebirth of you. And we have plenty of more than one rebirth in our lives, but midlife especially is, because you are now forced to look at yourself because you don't have the same level of distractions that you had before.
And we have to see those moments, Kelly, as opportunities. For a
Mhm.
very long time, particularly after I turned 50, which was 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I literally just thought my life was over.
Mhm.
And taking care of my daughter who passed, then taking care of my parents who passed.
Mhm.
And when I had all these personal dreams and desires that I wanted for myself, and really just stop giving myself permission to try again, to dream again, to attempt again.
Mhm.
And I had to learn, first of all, 10 years have now passed.
Mhm.
And I did say to myself, well, Melody, maybe, come on, do you really want to go back to school right now? No, not really. But what are some things that you want to do now? Now that you're in this
Mhm.
season of rebirthing, now that you're in this season of creating,
Yes.
now that
Yes.
you're in this season of evolving, what
Mhm.
do you want to do?
What do you want to do? We talk about that we don't even give ourselves permission
Right.
to dream and want.
And to
We're not
want.
talking about wanting, and we're not appreciative of what we have or where we are, but we're talking about specifically for women. We've been conditioned that it's not okay for us to want.
Yeah. I don't know, Kelly. I had to make the decision. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time we were together, I shared with both you and Pastor Harold, and that is I had to give myself permission to steal away.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally knew that I was going to be swimming upstream because I was going against all the assumptions of what I should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew for myself in this season of evolving, in this new evolution of who Melodie was becoming, I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I needed to get away from some distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And with those distractions, I knew that I had to come and spend some quality time with God. I
Mm-hmm.
needed to focus more on some of the things some of my goals and objectives.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that I couldn't do it
Mm-hmm.
in that normal place. I had to steal away. For many of us, when we're trying to rebuild our confidence, when we're really trying to see where that next stage is, what's the next thing that God wants us to do, give
Mm-hmm.
yourself permission to retreat. Maybe,
Yes.
go to a Airbnb, go to a hotel room. Lots of times, some of my girlfriends, and I don't know if it was you, Kelly, sometimes just go check yourself into a hotel for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Rest, recuperate,
Mm-hmm.
kind of refocus on
Mm-hmm.
some things that you want to do. Get in a quiet place where you can hear yourself think and you can hear God talk to you about
Yes.
that next thing is. And as you do that, your confidence will build. Why? Because you are now shining the light on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're building those areas in your life where you didn't have the confidence, and
Mm-hmm.
you're building up the confidence to take bigger risks to try again.
Whew. Mel,
To try again.
this is so good and so powerful. That is why Enlightened Woman exists, y'all. And that's why God gave me all these awesome friends to share with us the power of this season and to equip us. And first of all, to remind us who we really are.
Mm,
We've been bamboozled and run amok into thinking we're not. And
mm,
this has been so powerful. Oh my
mm.
God, y'all. Just go ahead and say thank you because God has spoken to us
Mm,
in our place of knowing as we reclaim our confidence,
mhm.
that and look for Mel, give them your Facebook and are you on IG?
Yeah, and both of them is Melodie Powell Boone. You can reach me on Facebook. You can reach me on IG. You can just DM me, and if you want to just have a conversation, we can talk about maybe a coaching relationship. But just go ahead and DM me on Facebook or IG. I would love to hear from you. Um, it's a wonderful season. Midlife doesn't have to be scary.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
See it as the possibility within
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do new things, to dream new dreams, to find new abilities that's already inside of you. You just got to release them and do what God has called you to do and walk in it. I call it, and I've been saying this, Kelly, I know for 27 years at least. Walk in big shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been teaching that for years. And even as I had empowered women at our local church to walk in big shoes, and all walking in big shoes to me is walking in a new level of confidence.
Yes, I love it.
Walk in big shoes, baby. Do it, and as you do it, walk in big shoes. Be confident. Be
Mhm,
bold. Go and put
mhm.
yourself out there. See what God can do within you, through you, and by you. Go ahead. Walk in big shoes. Have the confidence to try.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, have
Speaking
the
of
confidence to
walking
try.
in big shoes, I know
Walk
you
in big
haven't
shoes,
done
y'all. Walk in big shoes.
tomorrow. It started out, now we're in World Menopause Awareness Month, which of course started out as a day, which is tomorrow. World Menopause Awareness Day is
Mm.
tomorrow, the 18th. And I thought, what a better day than to just grab some women, say, come on, join me to celebrate it. So on tomorrow, we are transforming our space. I have a team that knows how to transform a space. So they're going to
Oh,
transform
yes,
your
they can
space
now, Kelly.
as we invite you to what I'm calling the Minnow Lounge. I love it, for a night of joy tomorrow from 7 to 9. We're just going to get quiet. Just like Pastor Boone just said, we have to learn how to get quiet, get still. And one of the tools and way, because we're also learning how to mitigate some of these symptoms we're having. We're not victims. They can be hard, they can be stressful, but we have a way to manage them. And one of those ways is meditation. We were
Mm,
going to be talking about sound healing. I'm so excited. My good friend, Elder Vicki Johnson, is coming to hang with us. She's been certified in sound healing. She's going to come and do that and lead us through that experience. Of course, we're going to dance. Did I say we're going to dance? We're going to move. We're going to enjoy each other's company. And come on, dessert. Yes, and more. We're going to have a good time. If you want to come, your investment in your joy is only $25. You can do it through Cash App. You can see it right there, Kelly Hayes, and or Zelle. There's the number. If you go to my IG at Kelly V Hayes, or the Enlightened Woman Facebook page, or my Facebook page, it's Kelly V Hayes, you'll see this information. And you can also go to
mm,
www.menolloungeanightofjoy.eventbrite.com. That's also on the page. Just put yourself first. Now, if you have stuff going on and you absolutely can't do it, I get that. But if you are doing one of those backups, moonwalk, trying to talk yourself out of why you can't come out and hang out from 7 to 9 to have a good time, then rethink that.
mm.
Catch yourself, correct yourself, and apologize to yourself for not giving yourself the freedom to come and enjoy some joy in the company of your sisters. Because if we're at home 7 to 9, that's just 2 hours. That's like watching a movie.
Mhm.
So why not get out of your comfort zone and come on? We're going to have an amazing time, and it's not too late to do that. Reverend Mel, you got any closing thoughts as we sign off for tonight? And let me invite you to next week, Monday, in the meditation room on the 24th. I'm so excited. We'll have Dr. Deborah Whitehurst Brown and Dr. Joy L. Ballard. They are both um, it's not certified, but there is a level that you have to be as a operating physician. They are both that, whatever that is that they're board certified. That's what
Board certified.
board certified OBGYNs. Dr. Whitehurst Brown delivered two of my grandbabies. She's my sorority sister. Just love her. And Dr. Joy L. Ballard, I'm so grateful to make her acquaintance. She was a full-fledged practicing OBGYN. Mel got to a place where she needed a break, went off by herself, and her God say start a business. So she
Wow.
now has a business called Menopause Moguls.
Wow. That sounds real good.
Her niche is helping women in midlife to manage and launch their businesses while managing those menopausal symptoms. I'm so
Wow.
excited
That's
about
real
them
good.
being in the meditation room on tonight. So share the good news, y'all. Invite somebody. And I'm asking you, while you're right here on this YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and check out some of the videos and share them with somebody else. Go ahead and engage your notification bell so that you'll know when we are live. It is important and it matters. I'm building this community so that we can create a community that demands attention, that requires those who want our dollars to have to
Mm,
make sure they're doing things for us as Black women, because we also experience menopause earlier in
mm,
symptoms. And it has been shown in research that we are affected by those symptoms in more intense ways. They last longer, and so we are building a community and a movement of redefining midlife and all that comes along with it as a season of reawakening and a rebirth. And don't forget, Mel, you have to start talking about your book, y'all, because she also has a book on fear. And don't forget that Enlightened Woman, Inspiration and Reflections to Rediscover the Joy of Being You in Midlife and Beyond. Can I tell you, it's going to help you in this
amen.
midlife season. That's my courageous move, Mel.
Yeah.
How, who writes a book and then don't tell nobody about it? That was me. Amen. But I have
Don't
evolved.
feel bad, Kelly. After I wrote Fearless, I didn't market mine either. So,
How about
and
somebody
I'm working
say
on a
she
second
has
book now.
evolved?
I'm working on a second book now. And I'm telling 7 days to empowered living, and I'm going to
I
market
love
this.
it.
I'm going to tell everybody because I did not market.
Somebody say she has evolved.
Yeah,
Amen. You have to be your biggest cheerleader.
yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Mel, for coming and
Thank
talking
you,
to us
Pastor
about reclaiming
Kelly. Thank
our confidence.
you.
It was powerful and so enlightening, so encouraging.
I'm glad.
Amen. I'm just so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all make sure you go and follow Mel on her Facebook and IG. And when that new confidence challenge drops, make sure you become a part of it as we evolve. That's what we're doing. We're reclaiming ourselves,
Yes.
rediscovering our joy, and making this the best season of our lives. Can you say it
Yes.
with me? This is the best season of my life.
Yes, it
That's my
is.
truth. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yay, everybody, y'all know what to do. Go ahead and get ready for your night ritual so you can calm your spirit, calm yourself down, and have a
Mhm.
great night of sleep. Absolutely love you. Thank you for joining me on Mondays in the meditation room. And I look forward to seeing some of y'all tomorrow in the Menno Lounge. Have a great night, everybody. Love you.
Good night.